We're now at 64.75%. So there's that extra slot that's missing in the shurikens there. That's for an unlockable shuriken that has pretty ridiculous conditions. So we're gonna go with the moon. No, wait. We're gonna go with Kurakawa Yakuza.
Oh, that's each one of these gets more ridiculous than the last.
Yep. I don't think we have enough to. I don't think we have enough money though to upgrade our weapons yet, because they're getting pretty expensive at this point. We're going to meet our dad later on, so we're just gonna change.
We're gonna show appropriate respect.
We're gonna show him a picture of his old self. Hopefully, that will help him regain his lost humanity.
Alright, kid. Thanks for the rescue. We've set up a new command point outside the city, just outside the sterilization blast zone. We've reconned the area and detected a giant hive beneath that cancerous tower. Looks like your father was telling the truth. Use the subway tunnels to get there undetected. But you've got to hurry. Seismographs are starting to pick up quake activity in several districts.
There's lots of land parties going on. All that quake activity. You got to make sure. Anyway, guess what? It's another shmup level.
Oh.
So I'm fast forwarding through most of this. But not all of it, because at one point they actually throw in something new, but it takes a while. So right about here, oh look, it's a blastmite. So now we have a rolling ball of death that we have to deal with. It is actually a decent gimmick as far as the shmup levels go.
That is well done.
Even if it's more or less a repeat of the infected train from Mission 3. I was looking into some other games, potentially LPing, including an iPhone game, which I don't think we'll be doing commentary over that one, but it is pretty interesting. I'm probably just going to put it up with just the gameplay, because there's a couple of reasons why I want to do that one in particular, one of which is just the novelty factor of the kind of game that it is, but also because there are some voice actors in it that are surprisingly well known, given the type of game, given that it was a relatively low funded Kickstarter game, plus it's not very well known. Like, it doesn't have a single rating or review on the App Store.
So you're getting into quality.
It is actually a fairly decent game, all things considered. It's just, it suffered from like basically zero publicity. It's enough to get like $13,000 or $14,000 on Kickstarter. That was about it.
That's a big worm.
Uh-oh. What the? My balls! Uh-oh. Our ninjutsu is gone. So this is
We've been neutered.
but we also have player choice. We could take these 3 paths in any order we wish. However, I have a specific route that I'm going through in order to get some collectibles and also the Shinobi Moji, and I think a health upgrade and possibly a cheap piece or 2. So we're going to be going here first. This is also the obligatory level where they start recycling assets from earlier levels. I mean, every action game does this at some point, just because, you know, you have to stop making content and just launch the game. But you also have to release the game as well. But while I do think it's fun to play, I think it also doesn't do a very good job of hiding the fact that it's used assets, or at least justifying it. You'll see what I mean in a minute or two here.
You can only fit so much on an Xbox disc.
Well, this is Xbox 360, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that electricity hurts. This game also came out on PC. Not a very good port, though. See, look, now it just magically teleports us to the office buildings. Office buildings from Mission 6. And the thing is that you'll see later, this isn't even meant to be the same area. This is like this is meant to be a different location.
Every Japanese office has an interconnected hell cavern. It's in the building code.
Or at least they did until 1985. Yeah, they had to bring in some regulation at some point. This is an older building. But yeah, this is meant to be a different area. But you'll see that it connects back to the cave using an exit that led somewhere else in the previous level. They do at least change up some of the enemy layout here, as well as the collectibles and whatnot.
But I mean, there is no denying this is the same map.
Yeah, I mean, at least in, for instance, like Ninja Gaiden Black did the same thing, but it had a slightly better justification for it in that you were actually going into teleportation, or you were at least getting teleported into previous areas, whereas this is trying to pass this off as a brand new area using previous assets. Basically, this is a rare case of a game asset flipping itself.
Flipception.
Yeah. Anyway, the level design is mostly the same here, though. Again, as I mentioned, they do change some of the enemies here. Like, if you remember, there was a pox giant. They have mercifully removed it.
It takes guts to do this immediately after the level that you're reusing.
Yeah. Though, again, remember that you can grab any of these in any order, so it doesn't matter. Also, I found a sequence break here. I don't have the Cyclone Shuriken, so I can't put out these fires. However, using the dash cancel, you still take damage, but you can jump through the fires there. So it's a little shortcut over to where the Shinobi Moji is. Oh no, sorry, this is a health piece. Yeah, even with a lot of fast forwarding, this video is still 37 minutes long. I was trying to remember if I missed anything. I don't think I did, but... Oh, look. Maybe you saw who it was there. It's Tojiro. And Ryoko as well.
Oh, no, Tojiro.
So their mutant form is pretty similar to their fight. They basically just hit harder. Also, for some reason, I thought they were going to do their other attack where they had that sort of electric stuff that you could parry, but instead they did a laser attack. I was not prepared for that.
So we're into the obligatory action game refights now.
The refights do at least mix things up. Like they give the bosses new attacks. They hit harder. Also, I like the windmill attack. You can block tornadoes with it. Windmill's also just great at dealing damage in general.
Just obscene amounts of damage, man.
See, now I was prepared for the laser this time. This is the same laser attack, I think, that the Stalker larva used in one of the earlier episodes, in episode 5.
Yep.
And it also has the shield. It also has the shield attack that the Blast Mites used. And thankfully, there's no Totome. They'd already padded out enough. They didn't have to include that. At least they didn't include Totome out of it.
There's a stiff breeze in this cave.
Yay. Well, that's one tentacle down. Two more to go. So I got the wind shuriken first. Very specific. Sorry, the cyclone shuriken first, very specifically, because that will allow us to get the shinobi moji. So now we're gonna get the flame shuriken here. These areas also look very similar to the stuff in Chapter 5 when Kuro was having us run around with the Blast Mites.
Oh, yeah.
I was able to recover just in time to parry that away.
They've switched their tactics. They're running the Ninja Gaiden playbook now.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I could extinguish these flames while I was on the other platform, but I could do it with some of them, but apparently the range is just far enough. Also, I thought that I hadn't showed off those attacks, but apparently I had, so... I think for some reason I thought that there was a boss here, which is why I was so hesitant. I'm trying... Part of this is just psychoanalyzing, like, what the hell I was thinking while recording this.
And there's that warp again.
And it's just warping us to another part of Chapter 5. This was the section where it was really hellish to record because none of the checkpoints worked properly. Ow. Oh, look, there's a chi piece. It almost exactly the same spot as it was in Chapter 5.
Yup.
Although, this is pretty cool. I was able to parry that fire. Also, I wanted to see if I could actually make this charge attack useful. So I parried something with it. That was nice. It's unfortunately because there's such a delay in the attack, it doesn't make it very useful.
Only this time the pipe is broken.
Yep. You're missing a claw there. I think your Halloween costume is incomplete. There, that's the left trigger plus Y charge attack. Which is not very useful. But it is fun to do. I still maintain that this level is more entertaining than Chapter 5. Even with all the rehashing and boss fights, just because level 5 is so unbelievably tedious that nothing can even come close to it. Oh, hey, there's the Shinobi movie.
Found it!
I need to destroy every shipping crate first. Oh, Chrysanthemum and Chalice.
Who names these?
Feel sorry for whoever has to translate them. That was close there. I almost fell to my death that time. And more timing. This isn't quite as bad as the helicopter blades from Chapter 6, but it's close. Also, if you have the wind shuriken already, there's that little shortcut you can unlock. That charge attack is because there's like about a third of a second delay between when you release the button and when Ken actually attacks. And because the enemies are so aggressive in this game, it'll lead to situations where they can interrupt your charge. Unless you're using Ninja Blade. Or sorry, unless you're using Ninja Vision, excuse me. Oh, and also those enemies can do an extra QTE. And I was prepared for that and I took damage. Oh, there's the surf attack.
Nice.
I use that a lot against bosses, especially the final set of bosses starting next video. Oh, I wonder who this is. Oh, it's the first form of the Pox Giant, all the way back at the very beginning of the game. Although, at least he does kind of have different attacks.
Apparently they buried him up to his waist.
Well, he was like that last time.
Oh! Yeah, yep, you're right.
You can safely ignore all these enemies as long as you just keep hitting the Pox Giant up to a point, at which point he just buries himself underground until you defeat them. And he also has a rock variation of the tentacle attacks that Ryoko had, and he has bomb lice.
You can't hurt him by throwing him in though, right?
I think it does like a really small amount of damage. It's obvious that's not supposed to be the main form of attack.
Yeah, now we got the fire shuriken back. I do appreciate that it sends you back to this hallway.
Yeah. That would just be cruel if they had to make you backtrack through it. Yeah, they cared about their filler. Well, time to get the lightning shuriken now. It's one of those suicide wasps again. Nope, and we upgraded the Oni Slayer blade to level 4.
I mean, we're pretty much going to be a killing machine by the end of this.
You mean we're not already?
I think we can take it a little bit further.
We're more of a killing automaton, not quite the level of an outright machine yet. Now we're in that one warehouse area of Chapter 2, which I think was the first place I really started complaining about the level design. So at this point, I was starting to kind of get sick of this, so I just sort of just tried to speedrun this as much as I could.
It's not badly done, it's just, I can see where it gets repetitive.
If there was more variety, I think, in not just the enemy placement, but the level of puzzle design, like we're using the same architectural assets, but in different ways.
Excuse me, Mr. Wolverine, I'm trying to open a wall here.
Yeah, I couldn't find a good spot to cut away from that, so I just fast-forwarded through it. And, you can just get through here without, oh boy, it's the carrion claw. I'm gonna show off a different, at least I'm gonna show off a different way of defeating the carrion claw, which is not by running into its electricity attacks and getting stunned. That is something you shouldn't do if you play this game. Pro tip, don't do that. So when we last fought the carrion claw, we used the flame shuriken. Instead, we're just going to get rid of the armor on its claws, and that's going to lower its head, and we can do more damage to it there. It wasn't quite a viable strategy last time because our stone render was lower level, but now that it's pretty much maxed out, we can do some pretty serious damage to it. Most of the guides that I found online for this section seem to recommend the flame shuriken strategy, at least when you're playing for the first time and going through Chapter 3. And of course it regrows its claws after a while, just like Arachne and its legs. And of course it still has that countdown that we all know and love.
I appreciate that it doesn't regrow the armor.
You can also use the Cyclone Shuriken. When it's maxed out, it's pretty effective, both for Arachne's legs and also for any clawed enemy. I don't think I've mentioned it before in the LP, but there were 4 different composers who worked on this game, and all 4 of them have direct connections to Metal Gear. 2 of them worked exclusively on Metal Gear Solid 4, but the other 2 are frequent contributors to, or were frequent contributors to the Metal Gear series. I'll probably just put a description up right about now.
Sure.
There. Wasn't that informative, what you totally just saw on the screen that I didn't put in post? You learned so much, didn't you?
I was informed.
Now I just need to remember to actually put it on. Well, it's now a technical-free zone, straight to the end. I think it is safe to say that we can run right to it, and nothing will stand in our way. Doing a little jump of glory there. Alright, let's go! Uh-oh. Ken? You alright there, buddy?
What?
You okay? Yeah, that was just a little obstacle there. Totally intended by the game. So there's one boss fight we haven't rehashed yet. But first another running down a building section. Because we need to pad this level out even further. I still maintain that Mission 5 is worse. Even with all of this padding. I'm starting to sound like Slow Beef defending Dead to Rights as he gets closer and closer to the end of the game. And
I swear, guys, it's good.
Yeah. And then by the very end of the game, Diabetes just doesn't believe a single goddamn thing he says. Also, you may remember this particular cutscene recycled from when he first started the timer at Chapter 5. Oh look, it's Arachne again. But it's it's Phlox Arachne.
Phlox Arachne?
And he's on fire. At this point,
That's the worst Arachne.
At this point, he's basically just like flaming Dino Piranha from Mario Galaxy 2. You take the first boss and you put it on fire, and that makes everything better. Also, I'm trying to use because I knew that left trigger plus Y has a really big range. I was trying to see if I could hit him from there, but apparently I can't. And I paid for my transgressions. He just looks so happy when he's doing that attack. It's like he wants to spin.
Truly, Ken is the most jovial ninja.
Endure! It looks even more ridiculous when he's wearing the leopard costume.
It does. At some point, you will think you've seen everything that this game has to offer. I assure you, you have not.
Having already recorded all the footage, including showing off the remaining costumes, yeah, you haven't seen the most ridiculous things this game has to offer yet. So we already recycled phase 1. Might as well recycle the second phase too.
Ken's like, this seems strangely familiar.
Though I will say that the Toteme QTE is at least different. Though, for the sake of variety, I at least decided, you know, I'll attack him from the left side instead of the right, just to make this boss fight seem slightly different than last time. Also, I can't remember, were his legs on fire at this particular point during the Chapter 1 version of this fight? I can't remember. It's been so long since we did that.
I don't think so.
He definitely wasn't on fire during Phase 1.
This is where the designers got together and, well, what can we do to differentiate this and make it more difficult at the end of the game? Set him on fire.
Also, put him in a warehouse with a spinning blade, and then don't include the blade at all in the fight. That'll show him.
The 4-ton Chekhov's gun.
On the plus side, at least this particular fight is a little, you know, not quite as long because we have more powerful weaponry. And I almost get him in one cycle. I come really close. Maybe I should have used Ninja Vision earlier. Oh look, his legs aren't on fire anymore. Ken's damage soundbite just sounds like he's really disappointed that his favorite item, favorite food item at the grocery store was sold out.
That may have been the audio direction. You really want tricks, but they don't have tricks. Oh.
Alright, so here... Oh. Okay, yeah, You didn't see that missed QTE. It didn't happen.
Nope.
I will at least say they made a brand new Toteme for this fight. So that's something. Remember, kids, if you find a giant spider in your bathroom or something, this is how you deal with them.
Directly into the fan.
Yep, chop them up nice and good, and you'll never have to deal with them again.
At least they used the fan.
And it pleased the fan of this game, which is me. I'm its only fan.
I don't know, I'm starting to get convinced.
Aw, the tower's getting hives. God damn it. Anyone got any cream?
Not if I can help it.
This hive has been playing cover shooters. Oh, I sense another dad talk coming up.
Dad, how do I kill you?
I wish I knew how to kill you.
塊の中では何十万ものアルファワームが増殖してこの惑星を飲み込もうとしている。
So the alpha worms are reapers now.
待て、その刀は使いど。
It's okay, Dad. The safety's on.
その時だ。
Ow! I forgot how to turn the safety off. This is actually just a prank. This is all psychological and emotional torture. The dad is just trying to train Ken into becoming the perfect soldier for laughs.
As one does with their children. I mean, if it worked for Big Boss.
You need to let go of the past, Ken. Just look at that bandana. You're not even an A-grade ninja anymore. You got a B+.
Oh, dishonor to your family.
Look at that damage taken, son.
But the important question, are we nuking Tokyo yet?
Well, we're using a laser because they rewrote the script.
Are we LASIKing Tokyo yet?
Hopefully not. Let's see what the status update has to say on the situation. We're up to 83.
Oh, we got problems, guys.
Warning level. Apparently this runs on Windows 3.0, judging by that dialog box.
This doesn't bode well for Tokyo.
Oh no. There goes Tokyo. Go Alpha Worm.